All set.
All right, we're back. It's sit down night. It's Tuesday night. We've got a great, wonderful guest. But first, I want to thank Ron, John, and Vodka for taking over last episode. Great episode. But we move on, and we've got Steve here. Steve, thanks for coming. How you doing?
Hey guys, how you doing? Nice meeting you.
Yeah, nice to meet you, man. I feel like I know you a lot.
Yeah,
I do too. It's an absolute honor to have you, Steve.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's been fun so far. You know, I've enjoyed the 2 episodes with Kirk and being on the network, and heard a lot about you guys. So I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, Steve, I'm glad that you kind of dive into it and you like to go on the network and do stuff with the Minifans, unlike like big time people like Pat Ford, people like that. So we do appreciate you coming on.
And
Mutt, another one, yeah.
Yep. Jeff D. Lowe.
I think you'll see Jeff on sooner than I bet you'll see Mutt. I don't know why Mutt won't do it, but I think Jeff will.
Yeah, because Mutt thinks it's above him.
Yeah.
Oh, he's above it.
Well, Mutt thinks he's above everybody. Yeah,
yeah,
that's Mutt.
There could be an argument made both ways on that one. Well, okay. Well, tonight we are going to be doing KMS characters that remind us most of Sopranos characters. So a little convoluted, but we've got an expert here with Steve, and I think we're going to be able to get through it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and get started with a wheel because I think there's a very obvious one that should probably go number 1. So let's see who gets that. Did that share? Can you see it?
Yep. It's not on the screen. Do you want me to, do I have to add it or do you?
Yeah, I think you have to add it.
Oh yeah.
All right, there we go. All right. For the number 1 overall pick for the Sopranos draft.
All right.
Ron.
Okay. Fuck. I didn't want the 1. I really didn't.
All right. Me and Steve for Mr. Irrelevant.
Shit.
There we go. Steve, you're number 2.
Right. Awesome.
Congratulations. First is the worst. Second is the best. Third is the one with the hairy chest. Look, there it is.
All right. Number 1 overall. I mean, it just goes without saying. It's got to be Tony. Tony is Kirk.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just they couldn't be more similar as alpha males, and they bring down the hammer when necessary.
Yeah.
They both have short tempers.
Absolutely.
And they're both funny as fuck.
You described it perfectly. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think much more needs to be said on that.
No.
It's going to be great at the end of Kirk's career when Coleman's in there cleaning out the refrigerator, and Kirk just goes over there and beats his ass like he does. Just to prove he's still got it.
Absolutely.
He loves the beat down when necessary.
That's right.
So yeah, that's got to be an obvious 1-1. I almost thought about just making that the standard and then building off of that. But you know what? For the sake of the draft, that's going 1-1. So there it is. Gone. Tony, see ya.
All right, so I'm up.
You're up, Steve. What you got?
I think we have to, it just have to go kind of in order where you have to put Silvio Dante as Blind Mike, being the right-hand man, the consigliere. Mike's kind of like his right-hand man right now. And you have that loyalty with Mike.
I was going to say you trust him the most.
Silvio had with Tony. He trusts him. And I think if there was ever a time where if Kirk had to take a show off and say, hey, I want to hand it off to somebody, Mike can fill right in. Just like Silvio did when Tony was in the hospital. Like Silvio could, lead the family. And I think Mike, given 1 or 2 episodes, if he had to in a pinch, could lead the regular show.
I think you nailed that because I think they're not born to be alphas either. And
right.
Silvio knows that. Silvio is not a leader, he's not an alpha, but he's an excellent second man.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Mike is.
And that's what Mike will say it all the time. Like, hey, why don't you do your own show? Why don't you do your own comedy, bit or show or whatever, go up on stage. And Mike's always like, I don't want to do it. I don't know if I should. Kind of like Silvio, like when he was the acting boss, he didn't want to be acting boss. He was like, oh, this isn't for me. I'm the guy behind the scenes. And I kind of think that's what Mike is. He's the guy. He'd rather be the second guy.
Yeah,
nailed it. Yeah. Mike shows it because he doesn't even want to be paid by the show anymore. He just wants to come in and do his own thing. So, no, great pick. Good pick.
Yeah.
So for my first one, I've got to do the wheel here. I'm going to go with Gus and I'm gonna say he reminds me the most of Christopher, because they both have a bit of a drug problem. They're both kind of bumbling idiots, and Kirk hates both of them. So I think that's a very easy similarity. And I think the family could probably get by without both of them if they really had to. Although I do love Gus.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Good pick.
I think you got Gus a little early. I think you probably could have gotten him later. But this is the one issue with this draft is like I want to take multiple Sopranos guys for other KMS characters.
I do too.
Or vice versa. So I think we can allow that.
Well, that's what I wanted to get Christopher for like early because I knew somebody was going to take Christopher.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, so I want to be able to take Christopher for someone else.
Should we allow that? We never talked about that.
That's what we were just saying. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see. Should we do a wheel for it? Yes or no?
Yeah, fuck it. Spin it.
Wheel. This will take just a second. This not Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Names. Everybody go get your bets in if it's going to be yes or no. Let me present. It's minus 115 on both sides.
I love this. We just break into a wheel for something fucking random every like 5 minutes.
add it into the stream real quick. Ron.
Oh yeah, sorry.
There you go.
Writing down my list.
All right, yes or no? Yes or no? It's gonna be no.
Oh.
Cannot double up characters.
All right.
Best of 7.
All right. Yeah. Flip a coin, best of 7.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess for my second one, I'm going to go ahead and take another easy one off the board, and it's going to be the Coleman Vito comparison.
Oh, yes.
Wow. Yeah.
Excellent.
As each episode passes, I think more and more that Coleman's gay. Like, not that there's anything wrong with that, but like he went to that Christmas party with a dude, had a dude come build his bed, just like sat there with him, got his number.
Yeah, that was a little. And the guy's name was Dickens. Like, all right, okay.
Because that's what was on his mind was dicks. Dickens.
It's something going on, and he's a younger guy, so it's kind of cool to be like bisexual or something with that crowd. So I could definitely see it.
I mean, it started out as a joke, but I actually do think there is something to it now, and I almost like feel bad talking about it. But I mean, it had to be picked. I had it written down. That was a great pick.
I had him that too. So I know, obvious.
Yeah, I had to take an easy one off the board. Yeah, all right. Well, Steve, it's back on you.
Is it back on me? All right. I'm going with. Let me see. I'm going to go through my list. I have Justin as Bobby Bacala.
That's pretty
and
good.
I think, you have that bigger guy, kind of the quiet guy like Justin is, where Bobby wasn't like the big talker. He'd always say he was shy. And you kind of see that with Justin a little bit. But again, loyalty to no end. Very loyal to Kirk. He's that guy who kind of moves slow like Bacala. You don't really see like those big movements with him. But he is imposing. I saw, seeing Justin in person, and you're like, whoa, he's a bigger guy.
Yeah.
And he's funny. And, Bacala would always have those little one-liners. And you could almost kind of see, like, I could see Justin trying to dress up as Santa Claus like Bacala did,
Yeah.
Like, he will do whatever.
He did it begrudgingly.
Because he's always got that intimidation of Kirk like Bobby did with Tony. And it's kind of like Kirk could tell him anything, he's going to do it. He may not like it. He may say it
exactly.
Other people like, oh, what's Kirk making me do? But Kirk will make him do whatever he wants. And if Kirk gave him a Santa suit, Justin would put it right on. So I just
yeah, exactly.
Justin to me is like Bacala, absolutely.
Yeah, I think you nailed that one. And Justin likes to play the old timey video games, just like Bobby liked to play with the old trains. Like there's so many similarities. No, that's an outstanding.
Yep.
Now, the one thing I will disagree with is that Justin is super fiery on Twitter lately, and he won't hesitate to do a hit. Where Bobby is way more reserved, and he's afraid. He'll be afraid of a fucking mouse. You know what I mean?
But again, it was like that guy in Canada. Remember when Bobby had to whack that guy at the laundromat?
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
He did it. He wasn't a huge fan, but at the end, he did it. So Justin may still be like,
he'll take care of business when necessary.
He will.
Yep, no doubt.
Yep.
Great pick.
So you had Bobby Bacala as for Justin.
Yep.
All right. I'm between two. but I think I'll get Steve off the board, and I'll go Steve with Johnny Sack. He's the other capo right now. You know, if you asked me like 2 years ago, I think Johnny would be someone else. But right now it's Steve. Like they are on pretty close to even grounds as like equals in their careers.
That's a hot take there.
No,
in their
not
careers.
really. No, but listen, Steve's doing very good in what he's doing. And he's not doing podcasting, so I'm not comparing it on that regard. Obviously, Kirk's way better. But Steve's killing it right now. And they're both, you know, doing different shit, I guess, but they both respect each other, if that makes any sense. So that's why I got Steve as Johnny. Steve was tough. I was because I have high regard for Steve, so I didn't want to give him a lesser role. So
yeah, and that's kind of how Johnny was with Tony. There was always that respect. I mean, they both had their own families that they had to deal with. Johnny had people he had to answer to, like Steve does. But at the end of the day, Tony and Johnny could always come together and agree on things. And I think that's something that you always see with Steve and Kirk. They'll always come together. It may not be every day, but you know, every once in a while, Steve will show up and it's just back like they were every day. You know, they just have that common bond, which is awesome.
They've never had a falling out. They've never that says a lot.
Yeah. I mean, there was that one day. Remember that one day where he was just like taking call after call? Remember that? He was kind of like, Other than that, you really didn't see anything between those two.
Yeah, I guess the biggest question I'd have would be: is Steve's wife fat enough to have an 80-pound mole cut off her ass? I've never seen a picture of her. I have no idea. You never know.
And can he smoke a cigarette like Johnny Sack?
Definitely, without a doubt. Oh, so I'm going next. Oh, fuck yeah! All right,
you're
sweet.
Back around.
All right, so I got Sneakers as Richie April.
Sneakers as Richie April. That's a great one. He would back the fuck right over somebody.
Yeah, he's got a high temper, doesn't put up with anyone's shit. Is semi-frequently out of line in some of the stuff, but just a great character. Yeah,
and even some of the other haters get compared to Sneakers, and that's how Richie was at the end. They'd all compare him to Richie, and my favorite line is veal parmesan sandwich. Fuck you.
Yeah. I wish he was in for more than one season, but I loved it. That might be my favorite season.
Oh, he was awesome.
Season 2.
Really
he was great. Absolutely.
That's where, you know, the jacket. You know, the jacket. Like that one.
Stop flexing.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, great pick there.
Thanks. That's I think that's my third. So it's
Sneakers finds his way into a lot of our Kirkmores. I think he's probably been mentioned on 3 or 4 episodes in a row.
Well, he's a polarizing character, and he's not like vanilla, so I think that goes a long way. You know.
Yep. All right, Steve, we're back on you.
Back on me. All right. This one, I'm going to go with Uncle June as John Pelletier. And more like John would end is almost like Uncle June when he was in the nursing home. Because like the last time he was on and on the thing we did that Monday, the telethon, he just looked old, confused. And I almost like related him back to like, you know, Uncle June being in the nursing home at the end, where it was like he just seemed like he was out of sorts. And you know, like John had this probably like awesome life that you almost want to sit down with him and be like, John, what went on in your life? Like, how did you get to your point? And now it just seems like he's more towards, you know, mid to older age and almost like Uncle June. Like you really want to sit down and be like, wow, Uncle Junior was a awesome guy. Like he was a mercenary, and at the end he kind of slowed down. So I kind of have, you know, John Pelletier and Uncle June.
Yeah, I could see the comparison for sure. Uncle June, he was a feisty dude though.
Yeah,
and I think he played his character so well of like that agingness and like forgetting shit and turning on Tony, being with Tony, and like. You know,
and that's what it was with John. Like at one point he liked him. Then he didn't talk him over the Joanne thing with the wedding. And then he came back. And it was almost like at one point, you know, John wanted nothing to do with him anymore. And like Uncle June, he was like, oh, I hate my nephew. And he was going to like almost get him killed at one point. You know, so it was like, So then he came back, like John did. He kind of like, bent the knee and said, all right, Kirk, you're right. This is what's going on. And, so I saw the comparison between the both of them.
Yeah, they hugged it out for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, great pick. Great pick.
That's your third, right? Yeah, so then we'll wrap around. Yeah, that'll be last. All right.
All right, so for my third pick, I'm going to go with Alan Aguirre, that fag from The Dozen that was writing the questions. I think he's just like Jackie Aprile. He fucked up, and then Kirk called his guys, and all of a sudden Jeff D. Lowe put the bullet in the back of his head in some scrammy street in New Jersey and just ended his life. I don't even know if the kid works for Barstool anymore. There's no way he works for The Dozen. But
no.
But no, yeah, he just ran around, in Kurt's backyard, just like Jackie running around in Tony's backyard, and then he gets out of line and he takes a nice bullet right there. Didn't even see
that was Vito, right?
Yeah, Vito put.
Yeah, Vito. Yeah. Then he could barely get in that little. It was funny because he got.
It was a smallest gun. That was great too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what a fucking awful character too. He was so hateable.
Just the worst. Yeah, the scene where he's with Meadow when Meadow's sick. I just hate watching that scene.
That scene is brutal. Yeah, The Sopranos did a great job of having very hateable characters.
Yes,
and there's value in that.
Mm-hmm. They did. Well, all right. Well, I'm here on my last pick. I'm gonna go with Dave Cullinane as Ralph Cifaretto. Like Ralph comes in, he's a good earner. He builds himself up, and he starts doing some crazy shit that Tony doesn't really like. Kind of like Dave. He kind of
laid off his laurels. For Dave right there. Wow.
Well, Dave was good at the beginning, and then at the end, Dave gets a small screen. Ralph kills the horse, and Kirk just has to strangle him out on his kitchen floor. Like it's what had to happen. Like, an integral part of the show, had to have him. Wonderful part of the show, but just has to get killed. Just had to happen.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. I mean, that was pretty well put. Wow. Yeah. That's a lot of respect because, Ralphie, great fucking character on the show too. He died too soon.
Awesome. He's really good.
Yeah. Well, all right. So Steve, we're back to you for number 4.
Number 4. It's actually kind of a funny one that I had. I could see AJ Soprano as being Mayo. Nobody liked AJ.
I was trying to get an AJ one. That's fucking perfect. I'm so glad you thought of that.
AJ was a part of the show, and he had a couple of things early, like in the show, like with my fucking ZD, no ZD or something like that. But at the end, you just freaking hated that kid, and anything you ever hear post show about AJ is like, oh, he was annoying, he was awful. And that's just Mayo to me. He's just the most annoying guy. And I don't know how I got through that whole episode with him on Kirk's show. I mean, I really wanted to whack him on the spot, So
you should have done us all a favor.
We were really that bad in person, huh? Oh, it sounded tough listening to it, but
you know what? It's just one of those things. It's like when the red light's on, it's a whole different Andy Mayo than what you get pre and post show. Was like a very nice guy, very conversational. Then the light went on. You're like, who is this guy I just talked to 2 minutes ago? It's not the same guy,
Oh, that's wild. It's kind of like him on Twitter too, because he comes off as a nice guy, and then he comes off as a dickhead on Twitter, and you don't know what's real and what's not.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a great comparison. He always makes it about himself, just like AJ at the end.
Same thing.
In the pool. Yeah. Yep. No. Great one.
Yeah.
Steve's list is a monster. Good.
It is. God, AJ. We should do a quick Mount Rushmore of hateable Sopranos characters because he could be 1-1.
Yeah, he's right there.
He's awful. But I heard he goes on Part of My Take every now and then. He's awesome now.
Yeah. I think
he's like
he does that podcast too with Meadow, doesn't he? I don't know the podcast name offhand, but I know that they do a podcast together.
Who is it?
AJ and Meadow.
Oh, really? It was like Talking Sopranos or something.
Something. Well, Talking Sopranos was Bobby Bacala and
and Christopher.
Yeah, but I think they do. I can't remember the name offhand, but they do a pod together.
That doesn't surprise me. Yeah, he's like a professional gambler in Vegas or something.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. All right, my last pick here. I gotta do it. Polly Walnuts is Jerry Callahan.
Yeah. I had that written down. That's all.
They look like similar. They're both fiery.
Yep.
Tony ends up fucking hating Paulie and then loving him and hate. Well, Paulie's kind of a rat too, and Jerry's a rat.
Jerry's a rat. Very neurotic. Like
super
Paulie was
neurotic.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like not being able to go to the bathroom because the laces would be on the floor or something. Remember that? Like, you know, if you go to take a piss and your shoelaces are on the urinal or whatever. I'm like, that I could see Jerry being that way. Like,
yeah,
you know,
if Jerry just got some wings in his hair, it would be the exact same person.
Oh man, talk about all-time characters. Paulie.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Awesome.
That's a good one.
Yeah, great pick.
I love my list. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think y'all's list is better than my list. I suck for some reason. I suck at fucking making picks, I guess.
Why was it? Let's rattle them off. Who do you got?
Gus is Christopher, Coleman as Vito, Alan Aguirre as Jackie Aprile, and Dave as Ralph Cifaretto.
So I think Alan Aguirre probably sunk you there.
Well, yeah, but
he's so irrelevant.
But he gets killed. But he gets killed.
Yeah, but Jackie's in for a while. He's in a lot of episodes.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, Aguirre was doing the questions for the dozen for so long. We don't know how long that's been going on.
Oh, good spin sound, dude.
And then for Steve, we had Blind Mike as Silvio, Justin as Bobby Bacala, Peltz as Uncle June, and Mayo as AJ, which are all perfect. Those are great.
Yeah, it's a good list.
Pretty good. I wrote down Steve for Silvio, but I think Blind Mike's a better pick. I was gonna write Blind Mike for Bacala and then have Uncle June be Kirk, but then I switched it and put Tony as Kirk. So I'm glad.
Yeah, the other Christopher I had was Rico Bosco, who just like
shit, we forgot Rico.
Guy who freaks out all the time like Christopher does, and he can't sit still. And you know, at the drop of the hat, like Rico would whack somebody for Kirk like Christopher would, and
absolutely do anything for him.
Always looking for that attention from Kirk like Christopher would, like when Christopher felt like left off, like, you know, Rico feels like he needs that attention from Kirk every once in a while. So that was the other one I had, was Rico being Christopher.
Yep.
And then Rico pretty much went to like rehab for a little bit for like anger. And Christopher went for heroin.
Yeah. Yep.
So they both have their issues. Both short temper. Yeah. Oh man, that's a good one. We really missed out on that.
Yeah, that was way better than Gus.
Yeah, that was one that I had. Fuck, I had you down as Adi Bucco.
Yeah, I'll take Adi Bucco.
The food angle, you know, like your pizza place, and you know, you gotta have a chef. So I had you as Adi Bucco.
Yeah, I won't get involved with any French liquor salesman either. That's a promise. And then Ron, I'll go back through yours. You had Kirk as Tony, Steve as Johnny Sack, Sneakers as Richie Aprile, and then Jerry as Polly Walnuts. You want to do? I guess we've been doing some honorable mentions, but if you want to do a couple.
Yeah, Steve, you got any off the top of your head? I'm sure you got more on your list, right?
Yeah, I had well, I'd obviously be Skip, the pussy's right, the FBI agent.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That guy is fucking low key pretty funny too.
Jimmy. Yeah. Yep. I think I was gonna say Adam the Jew was Hesh. That was
my god, easy. I had that. I did.
That was pretty easy. Kirk's therapist is Melfi. Duh. Maybe Lauren Lynn is Melfi in some aspects.
Yeah, I was trying to think of the females, like who would be a good female to, like, who would be his Carmela, but I don't know if there's really something that jumps out.
Nipples.
Yeah. Oh my god, you know we would.
Blind Mike's groupie. She can be Valentina.
There we go.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of someone.
She's hungry. Yeah, Valentina hung herself, and Blind Mike's groupie killed herself out of the world. So,
is that Valentina hung herself? I thought she. Oh yeah. Never mind.
Yes,
she did. Well, that's all I've got. Do you guys have anything else? Steve, have you heard anything? You're going to be back in studio after Christmas, maybe, is what they were saying?
That's what they were saying on the show. I mean, I know that Kirk had said that my last appearance was new. He has me at neutral, which is obviously a good thing, but I'm hopeful. I mean, you know, Gussie Bullshit knows my information. So does Coleman. So, hopefully early 2024, but you never know with Kirk. That could be done, or I could be in next week. I mean, who knows?
You know what I think is great for you, though, is this Cain is Able guy coming out looking like a fucking moron.
Oh, that made me look so much better. Yeah.
Oh, my God. It literally, you couldn't have asked for something better because, he literally tried to copy everything you did to, like, get on the show. And now everyone loves you, and everyone's like, who the fuck is this guy?
Did he deliver flowers to the studio this week? I mean, I was out doing stuff, and I'm like, he delivered something to the studio? Like, what is he doing?
Hey, Steve, let me ask you. So you were at Barnes & Noble, right, when Kirk had his meltdown?
Was, yeah.
Did you see the whole meltdown? Is it everything?
The whole thing. And it's funny, it wasn't a setup at all. Like, I was because I worked in Burlington before. And, like, right where that bookstore is, and I was on a coffee break. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go to Barnes & Noble. They had a Starbucks in there. So I'm like, all right, I'll just grab a coffee. And I saw him like in the middle of an aisle, and he's just like talking into his phone. And I'm like, what the heck's he doing? Like that's Kirk Minahan. And then
that's legendary.
I tried to then I was curious. So I started looking at some of the books around there, and I could hear him. And then after he was done, he looked at me. He's like, how did I do? And I was like, okay. And then he's like all shaky. He's like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. And he just like walked out. I was like, what the hell just happened? Yeah.
That's wild. You were there for that.
Yeah. And it wasn't like anything. It was just out of the blue. I was in line getting a coffee, and here he is like yelling I'm like, you hear somebody yelling, and you're like, what the hell's going on? You turn around, it's Kirk. You're like, what is going on?
Were other people looking or did people just ignore it?
There wasn't a lot of people in there, but the people were looking at him, because you think about it, you're in Barnes & Noble, and there's some guy in the middle of the store like yelling, like, I want out of my contract, I want this, I want that, and everybody's kind of like, whoa, what is going on?
Like who is this psychopath?
Exactly, yeah, but it was wild, yeah.
That's insane. Your fingerprints are all over the start of the show. It's crazy. From the picture at the vigil that broke, that was great.
Yeah, people, you're getting bailed out left and right in a good way.
I know. I'm just gonna. I'm lucky that there's a lot of people like Cain in the world that kind of back, So, but it's fun. I whenever he needs me, I'll go in. But I'm not gonna blow up anybody's phone. So.
Well, hey, better you than Pat Ford. I like your appearances.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. We were talking about you last night on Mike and the Minifans, and they were saying they want you and Cain to do a podcast together. I said that's never going to happen. And they came out that they said you blocked him or something. And I was like, fucking A. I was like, I would if I were him too. It's like Steve's his own man. Yeah, I like going on all the shows, because it is difficult to record by yourself. I don't know if you guys have ever tried it, but oh my God, I did my new episode coming out was 17 minutes long, and I had to re-record I think I've done it like 20 times before I got like a finished product. And it's so difficult. And I had asked Kirk, like, hey, should I bring someone in on it? He's like, no, do it alone. And I'm like, how does they fill up like 15 minutes when you're just talking by yourself? It is impossible. I don't know how they do it.
You and Robbie V do it every week. It's awesome.
Yeah.
We could edit this out or whatever, but have you thought about like putting out like questions or something like that, and just like answering listener questions, like stuff like that, maybe a voicemail line or something? I think you would get some for sure.
You have to listen to episode 8.
Oh hell yeah.
A little tease. Yeah, no, I've thought about different things, but I think the main thing is just trying to, get out there as much as I can, and but I'm like a team guy, just like anybody on the network. I love working with everybody, and it's a lot of fun. So
yeah, it is. We appreciate that. And the Minifans are good people too. We've been lucky to get guests like you, and people every week. So, people come on.
Love it. I love it. It's a lot of fun, and definitely keeps the week interesting for sure, so.
Yeah. Now we're just waiting for Kirk to come on, hopefully in the next week or so, but I don't know.
He should. He said he's going to make the rounds, so I'm sure he will, but he's got a lot going on. And December looks like it's going to be pretty busy with going to Chicago and.
Oh yeah, that's right.
couple
Yeah,
of live
Survivor's
events. I know he's doing the Papagenos thing, and obviously he's going to take the holidays off. So
and a Subway thing.
and a Subway, which who knows what's going on with that? I mean
they've got a lot going on.
Nikki left. I was like, where did that come from?
I know that's Gus's doing right there.
Well, there you go.
Well, all right. Well, that's 30 minutes for us. I mean,
awesome.
Y'all have anything else?
That's perfect. No, I love this list.
Okay,
I think it worked out pretty good, and we'll have John from Scranton hopefully do the graphics.
Great.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, John. Thank you, Steve, for coming on. Great time.
I appreciate it.
Soon. Yeah.
All right, Steve.
Everybody.
Bye,
See y'all
guys.
next week.
Bye.